Hello everyone, welcome back to this episode of Bitcoin Trade. And so far, um, we got a chart analysis and some news here. And so let's take a look here. So, what do we got? Excuse me. And so far, this is the line. It's kind of weird how this thing comes up, but the line's from here to somewhere else, so it eventually does line up there. But the point is it broke out. And not only did it break out, but now it's above the support line. So it kind of slightly broke down, but came back up. So not too bad. I did make another line here just to have it. The thing about making lines is you always got to make lines as the price action moves. So we've broken out of this long downtrend here. So this downtrend finally we're broken out of it. Seems like so far. So let's take a look at some of the other charts here. And this is a half hour on Bitstamp. So Bitstamp clearly broke out. Of course, there was a lot of sellers as well, and it looks like it's breaking down again. But at least it broke out of that downtrending resistance, as you see. Slowly moved out and then pow. So there might be some hope here. Looks like a lot of buyers are coming in, jumping on some really good prices. Bitcoin below 700, that's not bad, considering where it was just a week ago, or just in 2 weeks. Well, just coming from up here, that makes a lot of sense. So this is BitC, and I pulled back, and this too has broken out of this. If you want to see it, and the reason I pull out on BitC, there you go. So it's broken out, clearly a breakout right here. Even though with this weird little line, if you took it right here, it still broke out. So and not only that, it never really dropped below that support line right here. And this is the reason why I wanna back out here. And as you see, this well, let's just go back even further. All right, so what we got here, this is BitC. And then, like I said, I drew this line out here and it came up here, and that's where the price support is. So let me see here. So what we got here is this downtrending line, bounced around, hit the support, finally hit the support, and then is breaking out of that resistance. So after it's got enough support here to break out of that. And so from this point on, we're gonna have to see how it reacts. If it bounces up further, or if it bounces down. Now, if this is the end of the sell-off, it might be the end of the sell-off. And so let's take a look at some other indicators. And sorry if I'm not using that other trading platform. I know I was requested to use it, but I'm still learning how to use it. But so far, if you saw my episode on that, like I said, if you keep your indicators or the way you do things in a simple way, you don't need all the complicated oscillators and other things. And my opinion on that is that those indicators, those buy and sell indicators, oscillators, whatever, most of those are lagging indicators. So they only work when basically after the facts. Alright, so after the price moves upwards, will it tell you, hey, the price is moving up? So I mean, I can tell you that if you need if you need an indicator, just look at the price. Did the price go up? Well, the price is up. There's your indicator. You want to buy then? That's actually not a very good way to trade. Trading on a lagging indicator, basically by the time you're buying in, the price movement has already happened, and it's kind of too late. So you need to just simply look at the price action, look at the channels, and look at your support and resistance line. Um, and weighted average really helps. So, and I use Bitcoin charts, and it doesn't move. It just captures it right then and there. And the thing about it is that because it doesn't move and it's responding to a snapshot, you know, I'm looking for something like this. But as you see, it it needs to cross. It really needs to cross for me to go back in. Picking bottoms is quite a challenge, but trying to pick a bottom for the purposes of trying to, get a gain, it's very tough. The only reason I pick the bottoms is because, and I'm putting very small little limit orders in because I don't know if that's truly the bottom. Like originally I thought that might have been the bottom, but as it went up, it just came further down. So you don't know, and unless you're playing like a really short-term trade, like you're buying in and then you're going out. You're buying in, you're going. Well, there's nowhere to go out on this one. So maybe you bought in, now you're going out. So I like this because it tells me, well, there's really not a really good buy signal. You might want to take a chance, but for me, it's you've already missed it because you should have bought down here. By the time you figured out buying in here, it's too late. And then if you're gonna wait for a confirmation, wait for this thing to cross and then have it bounce up and then bounce kind of down a little bit. So that's another way. This is a 10-day 2-hour, okay, on weighted average. All right, and you notice I have no other indicators here, and not even the volume because it just gets in the way. The volume may not. Well, obviously, when you see large moves like this, you're going to see volume. That's just the way it is. Anyways, so simple. If you let me see here. Make sure if you're able to see. There you go. Okay. So if you keep your buy and sell signals very simple, they're very simple to act upon. The problem with when you have multiple indicators and oscillators and all this stuff, they almost contradict each other in a lot of ways. So okay, then again, same thing. This is a Bitstamp, and it's made a really good push up through. So it really broke out. It looks like it's gonna cross, but I'm gonna wait because it did break up and it broke above this apparently, but it's a good signal. But again, you never know in this environment where it could be a false signal that breaks out just to plunge back down again. But it probably won't, based on the charts that I've shown you. It looks like it's got a good. It never hit the support, but it looks like it's on an. It's more like this, but it looks like it's on a back into an uptrend. It looks like it, but we won't know until it actually crosses over and finishes over. And then when it comes back down, I want to see if it bounces off of the 10-day average, because when you see how this hits up and hits the 25 period average and then bounces down and bounces down. So it needs to do the same thing going back up, and if it does, then it's back on an uptrend. So this is another way of especially I use this on an uptrend and a downtrend. I'll see where it's bouncing off of, because most of the times it will bounce off of a moving average price. See how it bounces off of that, and then it breaks through. So when it comes back down, I want to see where it bounces. If it bounces off of one of these two lines and goes back up, then I know this downtrend is kind of confirmed over and it's back going up. So that's another way of looking. And if you ever notice, it seems to coincide to some of the support line areas and resistant lines. of um, like the channels and the lines. It's also correlates. I mean, it seems to correlate with that as well. Like for example, if I put the lines right here, it correlates with the line. And again, this is Bitstamp. So let me go to Bitstamp real quick. And you see what I'm saying? This it right here in this area, it correlates with this line, resistance line, and then it broke through, and see the breakthrough, right there. See it? So weighted averages really helps. It's another way to. Oh, I can't get it. There we go. It's another way to know the resistance and see if it broke out. Unfortunately, none of this tells you the bottom. You're just gonna have to take a guess of and come up with a strategy where you want your buys to be. I've kind of shown you some ways to do that. But for me right now, it's important to figure out if this is a further downtrend, or the downtrend, the sell-off is over. There's no more sell-off. Now the price is going back up because all the sellers are gone. They only have U.S. dollars. They no longer have any bitcoins, theoretically, right? And then the bitcoin has to be bought in to make a trade at the exchanges anyway. So. I'm sorry. This is okay. Yeah, this is BitC, and you see how you see the big band spread between, and then you see how this 25 period is acting as a resistance, and then it breaks through. And this one looks like it's crossing over. Again, the problem with working with larger time frames is literally you're gonna have to wait. This is a 2 hour, so you're gonna have to wait at least 6 hours before I can safely say that it's broken out of this downtrend, and it's at least the downtrend has stopped, and you could see a possible range in movement or an uptrend based on following the support line. And then let's see the overall market real quick. Pretty bloody, yeah. Of course, if you've been watching my episodes, you've all seen it turn red. All the different markets are turning red, and look at the volumes here. Even for a weekend, Bitstamp, BitC, and Mt. Gox, they're still trading, and the prices are not considerably that different. It may be really big of a difference when you're doing 10,000, 20, 30, a million, whatever, but for sometimes the smaller investor, or people who make a smaller investment trade, excuse me, at these price ranges, there's really not much of a difference. You're only talking about $1 to 50-cent difference between the exchanges on where you trade. So I guess it depends where you want to trade, how you want to trade. Right now, the place to be, I have to admit, is I think the place to be is BitC. Well, mainly because Mt. Gox has their hold, so it's kind of hard to do anything over there. But if you look at BitC, I mean, the way it reacted, it's pretty spot on. It works really, really well. Look at the technical analysis I done, and it didn't drop that much. It's bouncing off of this, so everything about this makes really good sense. And it's broken out in May, and most likely it's just going to go up this far, retest this, and if it breaks out of this, you're looking at here. So in my opinion, this has the best value in potential of increased appreciation, if that makes sense. So if you're able to get more bitcoins, or load your funds in at BitC, this has the most potential to increase in value, in my opinion. So, this is the amazing thing about Bitcoin is that different markets, different price action. Uh, Bitcoin's independent of any exchange. So, it, if you can get more Bitcoins or whatever, your best bet is Bitsy, or if you're gonna trade Bitsy. Um, After that, then it would be, I think, Bitstamp, because look at the price. It's higher, and this is Bitstamp, and it's lower, and now it's coming back. It's spiked up, it's spiked up here, and then it's a massive sell-off. And this is just a half an hour. I'd like to see what exactly happened here. Yeah, it just spiked. Looks like all the people who are trading over at Bitstamp, got a little zealous over Bitcoin here once it broke out. So there's more volume here. Bitstamp is the biggest volume. So what you're looking at is probably the exhausted sellers buying back in on a very cheap price, and maybe they're cashing out or they want out of the game. Who knows? But you see this, it's being sold off here. But if it can bounce, see, it's already on this regular average here. It's already bouncing off of these of this 10 period, and then this is 25 period, and it's maybe acting as a support, and then it'll bounce again. So Bitstamp's pretty good too, but the current price is this much. Again, like I said, it doesn't make that much of a difference unless you're doing tens and hundreds and millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. Then it makes a difference. So, anyways, there you go. And then we'll look at Mt. Gox one more time. So that's the 1 hour. Let's just get into 15, see what's happening. It's not a big push, but at least it's a higher push. So at least it's breaking out of this downward channel. So it's broken out above. This is a support here because it bounced here and bounced around. I went below the support for a while, then back up. So now it's just bouncing around above the support. We'll see if it can stay above. Now Mt. Gox got the most sell-off, probably. It's dropped the most in price. But then again, obvious reasons. They put a halt over at Mt. Gox, so that's probably the reason why the lower price. But then look at the price here. If they can really resume trading, you're probably gonna see Mt. Gox probably return to the normal price range. So now we're probably gonna see where Mt. Gox is basically gonna be around this price. I don't know if they're gonna have withdrawal issues at the time. If they can have their Bitcoins being withdrawn, then I'm okay with that. They should have enough considering all the sell-off that occurred here. So, anyways, let's go do some quick articles here. Since we're on the subject of Mt. Gox here, so there is a new there's a news article here. Bitcoin's oldest exchange now in shambles. Suspense payout. Okay, so I'm reading this article, and actually turns out to be an article that might give us some hope. Apparently there's the owner of Mt. Gox over there, and then kind of talks about how is it glitch or liquidity crisis? Which one is it? So this particular author, a writer of this article right here, apparently if it is a glitch, then hopefully by Monday it will return to basic normal operations. But there was apparently, let me see, one Redditor says he flew from Australia to Japan in an attempt to withdraw his bitcoins. He met Karpeles, who was, I guess, the founder owner of Mt. Gox here. Uh, he met this guy in front of Mt. Gox's office, but he never got his money back. So, anyways, he tried to withdraw his bitcoins. He actually went there, tried to withdraw his bitcoins. So, anyways, the article also starts out mentioning about the 5 million of U.S. regulators have seized more than 5 million of the company's money. Customers report month-long delays in getting blah blah blah. So there's some reports of seizures here. So like I said, that could be the other reason for the lockout. Let's see what else. Oh yeah. Okay, so here's another one. Russian authorities say Bitcoin is illegal. so my understanding is that it's not a ban per se. It's just a clarification of the current law that having a parallel currency or any surrogate currency is banned or illegal. I should say not banned, but illegal in Russia. Now, how they can control that, I don't know. I guess they can go back to the old Soviet Union style and just go ahead and just arrest people and put them in jail and make them work in a concentration camp for having bitcoins. But they're not going to really do that. I mean, that's kind of ridiculous. But right now, as it stands, the current laws in Russia state that basically the use of Bitcoin is illegal because it's considered a surrogate currency. So if you got Bitcoins and you want to do some business in Russia, you better convert your Bitcoins into whatever rubles, and then use their currency to make legal purchases. So, but from what I understand, I mean, it seems like people are using it there. It's hard to enforce. Just hard to enforce. Really, how you gonna enforce that? So, is that gonna affect the markets? Well, what I think you're gonna see is you're gonna see, and you're seeing it in America as well. You're seeing a division in states. You're seeing a division in nations on where they stand on Bitcoin, and it's going to be clear what side, what nation, what side, what state is going to take, and it's going to be clear on, well, basically the line has been drawn, and we're going to find out. It's going to be obvious. You're either for or you're going to be against cryptocurrencies, or specifically, in my concern, Bitcoin. So that's what you're going to get. That's what you're going to see, and the line's been drawn, and you're going to see who's going to pick a side, and that side's going to be very clear to see. So it's more and more nations and states and governments either acknowledge Bitcoin through either arresting criminals based on some money laundering charges, because if more and more are getting arrested on money laundering charges, you have to just like the case in Florida, Bitcoin is acknowledged as a payment method. All right, a payment method. So Florida has, by charging someone with violating some money laundering laws or money service business laws, they have acknowledged Bitcoin as a payment method. All right, and Washington State has declared Bitcoin as money. So although Florida didn't say that Bitcoin was money, Bitcoin may not be a currency backed by a government, but Bitcoin is, I guess you can say Bitcoin is money because they consider Bitcoin as a payment method. Um, so even something that seemed like it would go against Bitcoin acknowledges that Bitcoin is something, all right? Because you can't make a case if Bitcoin was nothing, right? A case is brought because a Bitcoin has to fit in somewhere within that legal framework, and Florida has decided that Bitcoin is a payment method. So that's um, it's 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 something that is now acknowledged in Florida as a payment method. So another thing I was thinking about um, is that uh, if I can't trade Bitcoins in Florida for money, can you trade an asset? Can you trade goods for Bitcoin in Florida? Would that be considered all right? That's another issue that I'm wondering is legal and valid, since Florida has determined Bitcoin is a payment method. So instead of exchanging or buying and selling money for Bitcoin in Florida, can you exchange property? Can you exchange a car? Can you exchange well, anything that of value or an asset in Florida? So um, if you trade money for it, it may be considered illegal. If you trade an asset or property or goods and service, it may be perfectly legal to do that. I'm not sure if that's if you can do that or not, but I don't know. I'd have to take a look at what those guys were charged for as far as money laundering or not being a registered licensed money transmitter slash service provider or money business service. So, but anyways, you're seeing different nations and different countries coming out and standing for or against, or allowing or not allowing Bitcoin use in their country, state, nation, whatever. So I thought that was very interesting. Anyways, let's go back to the chart, see what the prices are doing now. So not hasn't changed that much. Um, let's take a look at the final spread on the prices here. Okay, it's really not that bad. I mean, remember this used to be $180 spread, which was kind of a little crazy. But let's take an overall look real quick. 12-hour period. So that's what it looks like, and most likely it's probably going to range. I drew this other third line because it broke down just a little bit, but still, if you look at it, it's still somewhat parallel to this uptrending line. So what you're going to see is you're going to probably see if it does go back up, it's going to bounce around these lines here and even when you come into this downward channel here, it's going to bounce against these as a resistance, and it's going to come back down, and who knows, it'll take some time to recover. But in any case, I hope this gives you a good idea of where this might be going. Anyways, I guess this ends this episode. Feel free to comment, like, dislike, or even leave a video response. Till next time, stay tuned. Bye now.